long time no see you. How have you been? So today we will do a writing lesson for Richmond level. We will talk about effect paragraph. So let's start talking about what is effect paragraph. Do you remember what is cause paragraph? Cause paragraph is where we talk about the reasons. But in effect paragraphs, we are talking about the results. So effect paragraphs are actually the opposite of the cause paragraphs. So when we say effects, what comes to our mind? Let's see, we have consequences, we have reasons. Now let's see the definition of effect. So the effect is the result of something. For example, the main effect of studying more is better grades, or after school tutors had a strong effect on test scores. So when we say effect, we are actually talking about that what happens after something, the results of something. Before writing the effect paragraph, we need to ask these 4 questions. We need to ask what happens after this, what are the consequences, what are the effects of this, what are the outcomes of this. Let's say our topic is alcohol. We need to ask ourselves, what are the results of using alcohol? We can say it has physical effects, it has psychological effects, it has effects on behaviors. We are just giving examples. So we have some popular topics when we are writing an effect paragraph. Let's move on to them. For example, effects of pollution is a very popular topic because pollution has so many effects on psychology, on physiology, on individuals, on environment. Effects of fast food. Fast food again has so many effects on people. Effects of professional sports on children. Effects of school bullying on children. Effects of social media on young people. For example, if we are talking about effects of social media in young people, we can say there are positive effects, but there are also negative effects. So now let's talk about how to actually write a paragraph. We have the topic sentence, we have supporting ideas. We need to add some details to these supporting ideas, and we have the concluding sentence in this same order. Now, let's start with our topic sentence. In the topic sentence, we need to give the general idea, the main idea to the reader. What is our paragraph about? We need to tell this beforehand to the reader. This is what we use topic sentence for. But if we are writing specifically about effect paragraph, we can use some sample sentences. We can use, for example, there are several effects or influences of something. For example, social media on teens. Or we can say there are 3 main effects of, or consequences of, or outcomes of something. Let's say fast food. And people are affected by, let's say, alcohol negatively or positively in some areas. So let's look at influence and effect. They are synonyms. And let's look at consequences and outcomes. They can also be synonyms. So So after writing the topic sentence, what we need to do is to write the supporting sentences. So supporting sentences are actually our body, because we need to support our topic sentence. We need to have some arguments, have some ideas to support our topic sentence. Let's say we will have 3 supporting sentences. We can start saying one effect is, let's say, physical effect. And we can continue with our second supporting sentence. We can say another effect is, or the most important effect is. One of the most important effects is, and for the last supporting sentence, we can start saying with most importantly, or final effect is. So you see here, if we start with one effect and we can continue with another effect, the most important effect, and we can finish the sentences with most importantly or final effect. These words are our signal words that we need to use while writing a paragraph. We have to use them. They are so important. So in writing the supporting sentences, we can use conjunctions like so, or for this reason, as a result, consequently, therefore. These conjunctions will help us to explain ourselves more clearly. When we are explaining the reasons, explaining the effects, for this reason, as a result, consequently, therefore, these words are really, really helpful and they will improve our writing. So please pay attention to them and take notes. So when we are writing an effect paragraph to make our job easier and for reader to read easier, we can categorize the effects of something, such as physical, psychological, social, educational, financial, individual, and more. Let's say our topic is alcohol. We can categorize the effects of alcohol as physical effects. For example, it harms your lungs. It has very bad physical effects on your health. We can say psychological effects in long-term abusing alcohol, and social effects, again in long-term abuse of drinking, educational, maybe not for alcohol, financial for sure, individual for sure. So after writing topic sentence, we wrote the supporting sentences. Now it's time to write concluding sentence to finish the paragraph. Without a concluding sentence, we cannot finish our paragraph. It is very important. So again, before starting the concluding sentence, we need to use some signal words. We can start with in conclusion, to conclude, in summary, to sum up, all in all. After using these signal words, we can start our concluding sentence. So what do we write in concluding sentence? Let's remember from our previous lessons. For concluding sentence, we can restate the main idea. We can restate the topic sentence. We can summarize our paragraph in 1 or 2 sentences. We can offer a solution or we can state our opinion. But we need to use these signal words before the concluding sentence and before the supporting ideas. So, in effect writing, there are some problems that we need to avoid at all costs. They are very simple, but these are the problems that most students unfortunately do. Let's see them. The first problem is oversimplifying. When writing an effect paragraph, please do not oversimplify. Please be specific. Specifically write the effects of the topic. And the second problem to avoid is confusing causes and effects. I think the second problem is the most common problem among the students. So, cause means the reason. Do you remember the cause paragraphs? It means the reasons of something. But if we are talking about effects, it means the results of something. So we shouldn't confuse the two at all costs. If you write about the causes instead of effects, it means that it is a really, really big problem. So, we talked about the paragraph components. We talked about the topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentences. So, let's talk about general statements. So, general statement is what we write before the topic sentence. It's an introductory part where the author provides the necessary context and background for the reader. A general statement can be one or several sentences. In a general statement, we can explain the main idea, or we can simply make a general statement. We can give a background information for the reader. Don't forget, general statement is the introduction of your paragraph. So after introduction, after your general statement, you need your topic sentence. So general statements and topic sentences are two different things. Let's see some sample general statements. There are several ways to write a general statement. Let's look at the first way. You can define the subject. Let's look at our example sentence. Here our topic is unemployment. We can say unemployment is defined as a situation where someone of working age is not able to get a job but would like to be in a full-time employment. So in this sentence, we actually defined what is unemployment. This is the first way of writing a general statement. Now let's look at the second way. You can state the problem or the subject. Unemployment has been one of the major problems of modern times. So we are actually defining, not defining, but stating the problem. Let's see. You can ask a question to your readers to catch their attention in the general statement. You can ask, have you ever thought about the consequences of unemployment? This is a good general statement. The sentence that you can use before the topic sentence. Or you can quote from a famous person. As Orson Scott Card stated, Unemployment is capitalism's way of getting you to plant a garden. This is a quote from a famous person. So when we are writing a general statement, we can choose one of those 4 ways to make an introduction to our paragraph. So we have the general statement. After general statement, we have the topic sentence. After topic sentence, we have the supporting ideas. And after supporting ideas, we have the concluding sentence. And after the concluding sentence, we have the final thought. So our final thought should be our last sentences to our paragraph. So what is final thought? Actually, when you hear the words final thought, what comes to your mind is actually what final thought is. We can write our last opinions, our thoughts on the subject as our last words. The reason why we should write final thought is to make readers to keep thinking about what we wrote. So the most important point when writing the final sentence is we shouldn't add any new information or any more details on the topic. We finished the paragraph, so no need to add any more information, any more detail. We should write just our final thoughts on the subject. So there are 3 main types of final thoughts, which are suggestions, implications, and observations. So we have some signal words to express our final thoughts, like we do in supporting sentences, concluding sentences. We need to have some signal words. We can start with I think, or when it comes to my opinion, or in my opinion, from my point of view, as far as I'm concerned, or it is worth bearing in mind that. So please take notes. Let's look at some sample final thoughts. So if we are given a suggestion, we can say, I think unemployment is not something stable, so governments can solve the problem by taking some precautions. Or we can say as implications, from my point of view, unemployment affects the unemployed individual and his family, not only with respect to income, but also with respect to health and mortality. Or we can state an observation. As far as I'm concerned, unemployed people tend to lose their mental and physical health. So we will see a sample paragraph. Our paragraph is about pollution. We talked about the effects of pollution as a very popular topic in effect writing. So before writing the actual paragraph, there are 2 steps that we need to follow at all costs. The first step is doing the brainstorming. So basically brainstorming is writing what comes to your mind when you think about the word pollution or the effects of pollution. This is a sample brainstorming. For the pollution, effects of pollution, we have dry and forest, greenhouse gases, rising sea levels, oil spills, global warming, destruction of animal, human habitats, animal extinction, cancer, air pollution, food and noise pollution, illnesses, water pollution, acid rain, carbon dioxide, stress, poison, lung disease, smoke, nuclear disaster, psychological disorders. So there are there are really good ideas, and here we have so many ideas. So after doing the brainstorming, now we can move forward with our outline. So the goal of doing the brainstorming is actually to know what we will write on our outline. We will pick some ideas from here and we will create our outline. So this is our outline. Firstly, of course, we have our topic sentence. Our topic sentence is: pollution has many effects on human beings. This is a good, simple topic sentence. Pollution has many effects on human beings. And after writing the topic sentence, we can move on with our supporting sentences. The first one is physical effects, meaning health. So after writing the supporting sentence, we need to write some details to give the readers a much more of an explanatory understanding. So in the details we have lung diseases, smoke, cancer and poison. After writing the details, we can move on to our second supporting sentence. Environmental effects. So for environmental effects, we have the details: oil spills and nuclear disaster. And for our third supporting sentence, we have psychological effects. And as the details, we have living in clean, unspoiled areas and living in polluted city. So after writing the supporting sentences, we need to write our concluding sentence. So we need to start with a signal word. Here we have to sum up. Pollution has many negative effects on the lives of humans. This is again a very simple and a good concluding sentence. Now let's move forward with our actual paragraph. The effects of pollution is our title. So for the title, it is not very creative, unfortunately, but it gives us the idea. So it's actually a good one. So our paragraph starts with a general statement. Our general statement is, with the pink we see, nowadays pollution is one of the biggest problems in the world. It has many effects on human life. So the second sentence after the general statement is, it has many effects on human life. This is our topic sentence. So the first sentence is our general statement. it gives us a background information. And the second sentence is our topic sentence. It gives us the main idea of our paragraph. The main idea is it has many effects on human life. So after the topic sentence, we have the supporting sentences. Our first supporting sentence starts with first of all. So do you see the signal word here? It is first of all. So first of all, pollution has negative effects on health. So our first supporting sentence is talking about the negative effects of pollution on health. Then it starts to give details. When a person lives in a polluted area, he or she can easily be infected by different types of diseases. For example, a person can have lung diseases. Also, food and water can be polluted by poisonous chemicals, and this can cause cancer in people. So after our first supporting sentences, it gives us a very good detail of the negative effects of pollution on our health. So after the first supporting sentence, we have the second supporting sentence. Another effect of pollution is environmental. So for the second supporting sentence, we start with another signal word. We say another effect. And then we start to give details. It destructs human habitat. Thus, an oil spill can make an area where people previously lived uninhabitable. So, on this page, we see a general statement. We see a topic sentence. We see a supporting sentence and detail. And we have another supporting sentence and the details. Now we see the final supporting sentence, the third one. It starts with a signal word again. Finally, pollution can also have a negative effect on people's psychology. So, in our last supporting sentence, we talk about the negative effects of pollution on people's psychology. We give details. People who live in a clean area feel more positive than people who live in a polluted area. Moreover, people who live in a polluted area are often depressed. They usually worried about life. So, in our supporting sentences, in our first supporting sentence, we talk about the negative effects of pollution on our health. Health is the first aspect. In our second supporting sentence, we talk about the effects on environment. So, our second aspect is environmental aspect. And we have the third supporting sentence. It talks about the effects on psychology. So the third and the last aspect is psychology. So after giving the details, we have our concluding sentence. But starting a concluding sentence, we need to use a signal word. So what we used here is to sum up. We started with to sum up, and we said pollution has many negative effects on the lives of humans. This is our concluding sentence. In our paragraph, we only talked about the negative effects of pollution. So we can say in our concluding sentence, we are summarizing and restating our paragraph and our main idea. And after the concluding sentence, what we need is the final thought. For starting final thought, again we need to use a signal word. Our signal word is from my point of view. Do you see the signal word? From my point of view. And we continue with people should take some precautions before pollution becomes a bigger problem. So let's look at again to our paragraph. We started with a general statement. We gave background information, and then we used a topic sentence to give the main idea. We said in this topic sentence, we are saying we will talk about the effects of pollution on human life. And after that, we talked about 3 effects of pollution. The first one was the health effect, the second is environmental, and the third is psychology. So the 3 of the effects are the negative effects, the results. So we talked about what happens with the pollution, what happens, what are the outcomes, what are the consequences of pollutions on human life. And after that, we conclude our paragraph with restating the idea, like pollution has many effects on the lives of humans. It means has many negative outcomes, not the reasons. Please don't forget this, not the reasons, the results. And after that, we are finishing our paragraph with a final thought. We say, from my point of view, I think people should take some precautions before pollution becomes a bigger problem. So after writing an effect paragraph, please follow this checklist. Please check yourself. I have given my paragraph a creative title. Yes. I started my paragraph with a general statement. Yes. My topic sentence has a clear subject and a clear overall impression. Yes. I have several supporting sentences that support my topic sentence. I have multiple examples for each supporting sentence. All of my sentences relate directly to the topic sentence. My paragraph is organized in a logical manner. I have used transition words at the beginning of each supporting sentence, signal words. I have a conclusion that sums up my paragraph. I finished my paragraph with a final thought. So that was it so far. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hopefully we will see you soon.